All right. So, how you guys doing? Um, Arbinaka here. Sorry, I've been MIA for the past few days and stuff. Um, have developed a habit of actually posting every day, but I had like some snowstorm and my Wi-Fi was messing up. It was a fucking mess. But anyway, so I wanted to do this video, right? And then and then I actually had a mess. The video was about it's like a follow up of video that I've done about women approaching men, right? And then Shaolin did a video response. Shout out to Shaolin, by the way. And then Serious comment as well. And even Stephen Rose said that he's actually thinking about making a response to the video. And I wanted to wait, but I'm like, let me just drop this off. Right, so perhaps that might actually even give Stephen Rose even more idea, more points to actually debate to discuss on the matter. But so anyway, so um Shaolin was talking about because he pretty much agreed with me that yes, women should be approaching men, and especially now in the 21st century, the paradigm shift pretty much has the paradigm has shifted, and he actually brought up a lot of good points. So, but here's the problem with women approaching men, right? Is because the subtlety is pretty much gone. Right there's no subtlety anymore. It almost kind of feels like men and women don't know how to flirt anymore, right? I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Like you mentioned the body language. So, like, I believe body language and fashion statement used to play a key role in the dating games. Based on the way the woman would actually look at you, or that would give you the green light. As far as the fashion statement alone was the key component for a woman to display her availability, right? So they might dress a little bit sexier, or they, based on their status at the moment. If when they are in a relationship, they kind of tone that shit down, right? They might still wear some nice ass jeans and all that shit, right, to show their low but they're not like wearing those skin tight type of shit, or a whole lot of makeup displaying a whole lot of shit. They tone that shit down. However, nowadays, like, the body language and the fashion statement doesn't match what the fuck they're saying anymore, right? Say for example, right, if you're a single man, you see a chick, she look good, and she got all the tight skin clothes, all that shit, looking like fucking Batwoman or something, right? And then you approach the chick, like, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. You just try to spit your little game, you know what I'm saying, right? Then this bitch might look at you like, uh, uh, just because I'm dressed that way, that does not make me a whore. You're like, what the fuck? Right? So these are some of the things that certain males have to deal with, right? And ladies, I get it, right? Because a lot of time when you don't give that level of attitude, a man would then some men, a lot of men, especially the thirstier they are, right? They would then misconstrue you saying no as you playing hard to get. So I get that part. I get the attitude that actually comes with it, right? Because a lot of motherfuckers don't understand no. And that's why a lot of guys as well, they know that the game has been rigged because of a lot of fuckboys. So then therefore they're now don't want to make those approach anymore, because they're like, you know what? Even if I say hi to this bitch, she gonna think I'm trying to get her number. Dude, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? And this is like a bias that I've actually developed subconsciously. I don't even realize that, right? I was at Walmart like I think 2 weeks ago, and then I had like like a nice little like a basket of shit, right? Probably like about 12 items or something like that, right? So I'm standing in line, and then there was this girl behind me. She had like probably like two shit in her hand, like two or three stuff in her hands. And normally when someone have less things than I do, this is like a couple of shit, I would normally just let them go first, because like it's courtesy. But like I stop, I'm like, she's cute, she's kind of pretty, she's wearing them little flamby outfit and shit like that, right? Disposing a lot of sex appeal. And I'm like, man, fuck this bitch. You know why? Because like I feel like if I let her go first, in her mind, she's gonna think that, yeah, this sucker ass nigga let me go first because she could check out my ass, which I wouldn't mind checking out her ass. But the point is, like, I refuse to be part of the statistic of the guy that's simping to her, even though it wouldn't be about that. But the fact that I know that she might think that I'm letting her go first because she looked good, I didn't let her go first. you know. And then now I start looking back of all the time where, like, when I would give up my seat to someone, it's like, if it's an old person or old lady or pregnant woman or like a old man, I would give up my seat, like when I used to ride the bus. But I never remember doing that for chicks. Like, the average broad and shit like that. I never remember doing that. So it was something that was always within me to be like, I'm not gonna keep gassing these bitches up. So, but that that part right there is like, it's so yeah. Basically, it's like a woman would put on certain type of attire, right? Because your fashion statement used to mean something. Now it doesn't anymore. So then, because of all this confusion, um, a lot of guys that are actually about something are like, you know what? I'm gonna sit back and let you motherfuckers figure this shit out because y'all speaking a language I no longer understand. Right? That's one thing. And also, also have to look at the aspect of, um, women and men don't know how to flirt anymore. The whole social media dynamic, you know, brings people further apart. Actually, just it pushed people further away from real life conversation, from real life, um, from real life interactions. So that's why you have men that are, you know, a lot more. They are a lot more comfortable in a social media setting, right? That's why they frequent those cam. Dude, cam girls, like, it's like a fucking multi-million-dollar industry, if not billion-dollar industry. So it's like you have there. Actually, I need to make a video about that in the future, about cam girls and how the people that are actually frequenting the whole that industry are not really like older, middle-aged men. Are It's like, it's pretty much millennials, millennials and under. These are, but that's for another video. We'll talk about that as well. And then also, whenever like a woman approach me, it feels like a fucking sales pitch, right? It's kind of like they try to sell you something. And even though, like, like I mentioned before, they don't know how to be subtle anymore. So then when they approach you, it almost feels like they try to sell you themselves. Like, you might hear some shit like, um, let me give you an example, right? Okay, like a couple of days ago, I was at Subway, and then so I'm eating my food and shit like that, and then so there was this customer that walked in, probably talked to the staff, and then walked out. And then this chick was like, "Oh, I'm tired of all these guys coming through and then like keep asking me, on a date and stuff like that. That's the fifth time this week this guy tried to get me on a date, right?" So automatically, I'm like, dude, like, in my head, I already know this game. You try to sell yourself as if, like, you are higher value, that all these men want to approach you, all these men want to do this to you, all these men want to do that to you, as if in a way to be like, well, that should get the other guy's attention. And you see it all the time on online as well. When you have all these guys flooding these broads DM section, right? And then now they get to complain about all those dick pics they get in the DM section. But when you go on this bitch profile, all you see is ass and titties hanging out, you know, and try to come up with some Martin Luther King quote. But you have all that ass hanging out. Shit makes no sense anymore. So so that's the thing, right? So the whole sales pitch, it almost feels like whenever a woman try to approach you, they try to sell you something, right? And that's when it's like, you know what? It's too good to be true. So most guys tend to just back away because it automatically it's veer as a red flag. But as before, when women were being more subtle about their thing, they knew how to, like you mentioned before, they would drop the napkin, or they would then, sit at the bar watching the football like they're actually really into sport. Bullshit, they're not. Or they would join certain atmosphere in order to be around that vicinity, and they know sooner or later they would actually gain the attention of the guy which they try to seek, right? But that subtlety is lost, and we live in a culture too which, like, it's like, I don't know, like, I I I love this. I always love the subtlety because it almost felt like I was peeling the layers of something that was supposed to be hidden, that was supposed to be remain hidden, and I'm just like slowly pulling it out of the individual, shit like that, right? Based on the words you say, based on the way you actually create a perfect picture in that person's head. But all this shit is lost now. You have motherfuckers coming to like, so you gonna fuck or not? Like, what the fuck? Or a bitch would be like, you want that pussy, nigga? You want it, motherfucker. I got the diamond pussy right here. It's like, come on, the fuck, right? And then also now, you mentioned the price of pussy when you said that, um, oh, wait. When you mentioned the economic downturn and shit like that, right? And then as far as the price of pussy, you said some shit like, women would start sucking dick for energy drink. That shit was funny. Yo, in the economic downturn, right? Yes, you would have a lot of that shit coming up. But let's face it, right? Economic downturn wouldn't just fuck up women's game. It would also fuck up men's game as well. Because let's face it, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that are fuckboy, but masquerading as select men. Let me rephrase this. There's a lot of fuckboys out here masquerading as they are select men. Let's say we had a Great Depression coming through, right? Let's say we have a like a internet crash or a stock market crash. A lot of these office motherfuckers that never built shit with their hands, that never know how to build any shelters or never know how to work the land, never know what it feels like to actually have hard work, truly hard work. You really think women gonna be flaunting over them? You really think, like, how long do you think that super nice car gonna last them when they don't have a job to make any sort of car payment anymore? Or there's no more gas. We have like some sort of apocalyptic type of shit. Men, women's gonna go either for the dope boy back again, well, which they stay that way because them that explain why them pro blacks, they're so eminent about, like, they want the shit to be bad so they can be on top again, right? But you have that aspect of the women gonna flood the so-called violent men anymore, because right now you have two prominent shit, right? You have the quote-unquote gangster and the thug type of nigga, right? Women are attracted to. I think this is biology, right? They like the danger feel of somebody that can actually handle their own in a danger type of situation, right? And then you also have the materialistic girls, which is where these men put out baits about what they have, their materialistic base, such as nice cars, nice jewelry, nice whatever the case may be, right? In order to attract females that happens to be gold diggers, and then complain about them gold diggers. But in an economic downturn, them folk boys would lose because let's face it, or yes, you gotta be able to provide and protect. Some of the so-called thugs, he would be able to protect, but he might not be able to provide. Because if you have like the whole 80-20 rules, you have like a whole bunch of bitches going for them thug niggas and all this shit, right? So then you really think them thug ass niggas gonna give a fuck about feeding these broads? No, they might throw some scrap and shit like that, right? But someone that's actually, know how to build shelter, know how to hunt, know how to, you know, farm, know how to do a whole bunch of shit, and also can shoot, he'll be able to provide and protect. He'll be able to actually assess her situation. And then therefore, that's the motherfucker that's gonna be able to provide for a family in that sense, in that particular aspect. So then the biggest loser of them all will be them fuckboys. So now, would women start sucking dick for energy drink? Yeah, but there will also be a group of women that will be definitely more select about their vagina, because in a depression you can't just run to the fucking Planned Parenthood to get another abortion. And if a system collapse, you might not be able to expect that that child support money anymore, or that government handout anymore. So yeah, women will be more select about their vagina. So a lot of guys, when they preach about that shit, right? When they hate the fact that women now have as much option as they are, so they're hoping to have some type of catastrophe. So then, therefore, they can be on top. So women can be at their beck and call. But what they don't understand is that if that shit happen, you will not be a select man neither. A lot of these motherfuckers, the one that do the most bitching about women, if shit hits the fan, they will not be a select man. Because what the fuck would they have to offer? If the fiat currency is like, ain't worth shit, you have to pretty much trade and bother and, and do a barter and all this stuff, right? So then what the fuck would you be able to offer women? Nothing. What, your dick? You think a bitch stressed out gonna worry about, like, like, if you want to get some pussy or not? No. She's gonna try to find that long-term protection, that long-term provision. If she's smart. She a dumb bitch, she's gonna go for the thug nigga that would at least be able to provide her with that protection. And either way, them fuck boys ain't gonna be on that list. And then you also mentioned that women want relationship more than men, right? It is true to a certain degree. What I see that women want now, it's not they want relationship more than men. They just don't want to be alone. They want to be they want to be with they don't want to be alone while still being single. So how do I come up with that conclusion? Because they don't behave as women that want to be in a relationship. That's why you have motherfuckers with boyfriend and still, like, posing almost like half naked and shit like that on social media. They're still, try to do that thirst trap for men. They still try to get a whole lot of men's attention, on a sexual level. So the fear of being alone outweigh the need of them being in a relationship. So that's why they would be with that. They would actually be with someone they complain about all the fucking time. So what the fuck is the point? Either be with someone that you want to be with, or be alone. But a lot of these broad, they're afraid of being alone. So then, therefore, they will get into a relationship that they're not happy with, or they're not satisfied with that person. But are they gonna leave his ass? No, because deep down they know that ain't nobody gonna put up with their bullshit. So that's why you have a lot of women that are actually making their men's life a living hell, and then all the while sucking up to motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about them, right? So it's like, it's not about as them want to be, want to be in a relationship. They just don't want to be alone. And then you also mentioned, this is my favorite point, right? The lost leader, right? The thing you said, when like a store would actually offer a product really cheap just to get you in the door, and then therefore once you inside the store, then you'll be able to probably browse around for, like, for all the products and all this shit. The only problem with that, right, is that once a woman offer a guy sex, a lot of times she doesn't have anything else to offer. So then she would offer, let's say, sex or whatever the case may be, or if you're dumb enough, you would just, like, automatically sex is the first thing on the table, right? To some women. But it's like, it's a catch-22, because let's say if you're a good girl, right, and you don't give up the ass, then the guy that you really like just gonna move on. He's not gonna fucking wait for you and shit like that. What the fuck does he look like? You're not giving up the pussy? No. But at the same time, there is no guarantee once you give up that pussy, he's gonna stick around. So it's like it's like a catch 22. But yet, if a woman have a lot more to offer outside of sex, then yeah, you might kiss a few frogs before you get your Prince Charming. So, but let's face it, a lot of these broads nowadays, yes, they give up the sex as the entryway, but once you get inside the store, the shelves are empty. There's nothing to keep you in the store. There's nothing to get you to buy anything else. There has no other qualities, no personalities. The shelves are fucking empty. And this is the problem with the hookup culture, because for so long, women have been told that all men care about is some ass. So then all they were able to develop is their head game, their twerking games, how to ride that dick, how to swing on a pole, how to do a whole bunch of shit that is sexually, but nothing that would actually be in depth, nothing that would actually bring a level of nurturing aspect of femininity. The whole point where, like, even that level of aggressiveness of try to talk to a guy, and the guy's like, okay, what the fuck you got? Why try to get me some pussy? Like, like, what the fuck, bitch? So, and that's the level of carefulness that guys have, because it's like, okay, you offer me some pussy right now. A, you might have some shit that I might catch. B, you might call false rape on me, as there was this article about this guy at school, college, that got suspended, even though he taped the conversation of this chick literally try to rape him. And then he was saying, like, "Nah, you too drunk. I don't want to do none of that shit." And then she started crying and all. He recorded all that shit, yet he still got kicked out of school. So guys are being very, very fucking careful now, right? And then also to the point now, we know how to hide, our appearance and all this shit. We're not trying to be all flashy anymore. We're not trying to bring up that level of attention onto us, because it's like, if I want to get something, I can go out and get it myself. So I'd rather sit back and study from afar, and then to find out what type of girl I think that are compatible to what I'm looking for. And then I will make my approach, and then I will shoot my shot. So the whole, like, get a chick, bang her the same day, drop her off, or you just dump the bitch and shit like that. All that shit is slowly coming to an end because of the level of danger that's coming across, right? And so then that's why a lot of guys that want to keep that hookup culture style continue to perpetuate. That's why they go overseas, because then you can easily pump and dump. Who can't fuck a third world chick, right? So that part's easy, because they know that, like, okay, if I go over there, yeah, um, I might get my ass whooped by especially if you fuck around in the in the dark market, in the black market and shit like that, right? Because that whole pussy chase is an underground business. So then you might get your ass up, you might be in danger at a certain level or shit like that. But that's a certain risk that you taking, because hey, it's it's easier that way. Because you have to understand, like, um here's the thing as well. The easier access. Because the price of pussy is like this, right? For a lot of men, especially those who brought up in the social media era, those who brought up in the fear of rejection, the fear of actually going to some heartache, the fear of being hurt. So those who actually grew up in that era, it's easier for them to actually buy a connection than to actually build one from scratch. Let me repeat that again. It's easier for this guy to buy a connection than to actually build it from scratch. Because when you buy a connection, then it's pretty much like you are paying a woman to act submissive. You are paying a woman to make you feel like you're a fucking king. You are paying a woman to stroke your ego. But once that money runs out, once you leave that place, once you leave that brothel, whatever the case may be, that fantasy comes to an end. And you can tell a lot. You can tell a lot about a guy that that is affected by those type of fantasy because they expect women in the real world to act just like those cam girls. They expect women in the real world to act just like those prostitutes. And when that doesn't happen, they are very venomous. That man, fuck these bitches. Why they can't be submissive? Why can't they be this? Why can't listen? In the real world, in real connection, in real life, there is gonna be some ups and a down in any sort of relationship, right? So at some time you're gonna have the chick that's like, act like a cunt. So you gotta be equipped with the tools to be like, all right, she acting like a bitch right now. Now I have to be an asshole, right? Put her in her place. How many of these guys you think are equipped with that tool? Not too many. Super Sly did a video the other day when he was saying like, a lot of these motherfuckers are making black men look bad. They're making us look weak as fuck. Bitching about like, man, a woman's supposed to be submissive. I don't have to ask you to be submissive. That's something you should automatically do. I've never come across a woman that does not try to fucking challenge you unless her spirit is broken. If her spirit is broken, then yeah, how about it? Go for it. That's what you're looking for. But that's what the fuck bitches do. They try to test your boundaries to see how much shit they can get away with. And then once you put your foot down, and then they realize, oh, okay, all right, I know my limit. Oh, I'm gonna try again later, right? So it's like they will constantly try to test how far they can take shit. So then, therefore, if you know they realize, okay, well, if I try this way, it doesn't work. I can't be bossy with him. So I'm gonna try to be that sweet. I'm gonna try to be that sweet chick, babe. Would you be able to do this for me, please? So they're gonna try to sort out. That's where the submissive shit comes in. My girl know not to fucking tell me to do shit. She would ask me, but she knows that also she try to do shit from a logical perspective because she knows that like if you're coming at me from an emotional perspective and then expecting me to do what the fuck you want, that's not gonna work. That's when I get stubborn. I put my foot down, and then you gonna get mad for no fucking reason. So either approach me a different way, try to speak my language, even though whatever you're feeling comes from an emotional aspect. But if you try to explain it from a logical perspective, then I will see your point. And then I will also explain to you from a logical perspective in order to communicate with your emotional fear. Because a lot of time, a lot of this shit comes from an insecure place, right? And that's where communication comes in handy. That's where a lot of these fight comes in handy. That's where a lot of this shit comes in handy. But a lot of these motherfuckers are not built for that. So it's easier to actually buy a connection than to actually build one from scratch. But I'm actually going in wait, I think I'm going in too deep now. Let's see. I had so like Sirius once said, she left a comment, but would the woman's intention be trusted though when it comes to women approaching men? Not really. No, the woman's, like I said earlier, whenever a woman approaching a man, it feels like she's trying to sell him something. And if it's like from a dating perspective, then she automatically gonna try to sell herself. Oh, these guys try to talk to me. Oh my god. Oh, I'm tired of these men trying to holler at me all the time. It's so annoying. This type of shit these bitches will do. Right? And hold on, she said, like, okay, see, now that's interesting because in the past, a lot of women who approached men first were the ones who came with an agenda. They still come with they still come with an agenda and stuff like that, right? But the thing is, like, it's not about the agenda because everybody have a level of agenda they come with. It's all the matter of does her agenda matches your agenda, right? So, like, if her agenda is I'm gonna try to trap this nigga, but then I'm gonna speak in a way that I'm gonna make him believe that I'm just trying to get him sex. That's why a lot of time when you have these broad, right? Because sometimes, like, you would tell a bitch, be like, hey, listen, I just want to fuck, no strings attached to that shit, right? And then she will hit you with a line like, well, I know, because I ain't looking for nothing serious neither. Bitch, you know you're lying. you're hoping at some point you're gonna give him enough pussy that he will change his fucking mind and be like, you know what? You a good girl. I'm gonna go out with you now. Nah, bitch. A lot of time they fucking lying about this shit. So when the guy said that I'm not looking for anything serious, and then she opened her mouth saying some shit like, yeah, me neither, bitch, you lying. Right? So that's what I'm talking about, the whole agenda shit, you know? But anyway, so it's this pretty much it. Now Steven Rose, I'm looking forward to your response, man. So hit this shit up. And then Shaolin, if you want to make another response of this as well, then yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. So anyway, this is Art Banaka. I think I've been going on long enough. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. Oh yeah, hit that bell button.